Let me tell you something about humans, and I say this with full authority, having personally witnessed their species embarrass three galactic superpowers, one ancient AI collective, and an entire diplomatic council that had functioned without failure for 6,000 years. Humans are, without any doubt, the most stubborn, most ridiculous, and terrifyingly unstoppable creatures this galaxy has ever had the misfortune of underestimating. My name is Vorrak, Senior Analyst, Galactic Intelligence Bureau, Outer Rim Division. I was the one who filed the report, the famous report that is now used in academies across 14 star systems as a training example. The title of that report was Threat Assessment, Earth Species, Classification, Non-Hostile, Low Priority. I want you to understand that I wrote those exact words myself, with my own four hands, and I submitted it with complete confidence. I should have retired after that. Instead, they promoted me, because in this galaxy, being spectacularly wrong still counts as research experience. It started with the blockade. The Vorkan High Command had decided that Earth was sitting atop a rather inconvenient mineral deposit, specifically a deep vein of Keth, 9 or beneath what humans call the Pacific Ocean. We did not want conflict. We simply wanted the ore, and we assumed, logically, that a species which had achieved interstellar communication only 40 years ago would look at a fleet of 200 warships and politely step aside. Commander Dreel, tall, blue-skinned, and deeply self-satisfied, broadcast the ultimatum personally. Surrender access to the designated mining zone. You have 72 of your hours to comply. Resistance is strongly inadvisable. 72 hours. He gave him 72 hours. I watched the transmission feed from my station. The human communication channels remained silent. I thought, good. They are calculating their options. They are being rational. They were not being rational. They were calling each other. Within 4 hours, every major human nation held emergency meetings. Not to discuss surrender. Not to negotiate. They were arguing, loudly and with remarkable intensity, about who would be the one to tell us no. Humans were also posting jokes on a platform they called social media. I will never forget this. A human named Bevo Ose, a comedian, uploaded a video saying, and I translate as accurately as possible, "Oh no, aliens arrived with a big scary fleet. Should we panic? Nah. We survived dial-up internet. We survived reality television. We survived a global pandemic while half our governments were fighting each other. These guys picked the wrong species." The video received 400 million views in 6 hours. Commander Dreel was furious. "It is psychological deflection," he said. "They are hiding fear behind humor." I agreed. I was wrong. They were not afraid. Not even slightly. On hour 48, a single human vessel left Earth's atmosphere. One ship. It was not a warship. It was a research vessel. Old. Patched together. Running on what our scans identified as 3 different engine designs from 3 different decades. Maintained in operational condition by what I can only describe as optimism and mechanical stubbornness. The ship was named Mirela 7. Its captain was a woman named Fiona Adair. She had 17 years of deep space geological experience, 1 damaged navigation array, and absolutely no concern for the 200 warships currently surrounding her planet. She transmitted a direct hail. "This is Captain Fiona Adair of Earth Geological Survey Vessel Mirela 7. I'm requesting to speak with whoever is responsible for the mining operation. Scientist to scientist. I have data you'll want to see before you make a very expensive mistake." Commander Dreel looked at me. I looked at Commander Dreel. "It is a delay tactic," he said. "Almost certainly," I agreed. We allowed her to dock. Curiosity, it turns out, is not a uniquely human weakness. What she brought was a geological survey. Detailed, precise, and absolutely devastating. The Keth 9 deposit was not a stable vein. It sat directly above a tectonic fault line of extreme instability. Extraction using standard galactic mining equipment would trigger a seismic chain reaction that would not only destroy the deposit, but destabilize Earth's oceanic crust. She placed the data pad on the table, looked Commander Dreel directly in the eye, and said calmly, You would spend 6 months destroying something that would collapse the moment you touched it. So either you listen to me, or you waste your fleet for nothing. Silence followed. A very long silence. And that, right there, was the moment I should have updated my threat assessment report. I did not, because I still believed it was a delay tactic. Here is something they do not teach you at the Galactic Intelligence Bureau. They teach fleet formations. They teach threat matrices. They teach how to read biological stress indicators across 47 known species. But they do not teach what to do when a single human woman sits inside your command chamber, drinks your complimentary nutrient beverage as if she owns the place, and turns out to be the least of your problems. Because while Fiona Adair was busy making Commander Dreel feel like an amateur geologist, humanity was not waiting quietly on its planet for rescue. They were working. And this is the thing about humans that almost never appears in galactic intelligence reports. Not because the information is unavailable, but because it sounds too absurd to be taken seriously. When humans are threatened, they do not pray first. They do not negotiate first. They do not wait for authority. They simply begin working, individually, collectively, simultaneously, like a species that was born knowing that nobody was coming to save them. So they decided to save themselves. While Fiona remained aboard our ship, a man named Tariq Vasil, a propulsion engineer from a country called Pakistan, had already begun modifying 4 outdated satellite relay stations into something that, according to our technical specialists, should not have been physically possible to construct without a full manufacturing facility and at least 6 months of design planning. He completed it in 31 hours, with a team of 9 people, and a food delivery order that arrived at hour 22. Because, apparently, humans require something called biryani to perform engineering miracles. The device Tariq built was a gravitational pulse emitter. Crude, highly inefficient, completely below recognized galactic engineering standards. But aimed at a fleet, it could temporarily disrupt navigation systems within a 12,000-kilometer radius, enough to blind 200 warships. Our long-range sensors detected it at hour 30. Commander Dreel studied the reading silently for a full minute. They built that, he said finally, in 31 hours. Yes, I replied. With 9 people. Yes. And they ordered food during construction. Biryani, specifically. Our cultural analysis team is still investigating its tactical significance. Dreel placed his datapad down. He looked at Fiona Adair, who was drinking her 3rd cup of nutrient beverage while reading what appeared to be a physical book, because her personal device battery had run out, and she had simply reached into her bag and produced an alternative. Paper. Because of course she had. She knew, Dreel said quietly. She was not here to show geological data. She was buying them time. Yes. And we allowed it. Yes. Silence followed. Then something unexpected happened. Commander Dreel, decorated officer, 40 years of service, responsible for successful annexations of 7 contested regions without tactical failure, began laughing. Not politely, not nervously. A full, genuine, completely undignified laugh echoed through the command chamber. Fiona Adair looked up from her book, raised one eyebrow. I assume, she said calmly, you found the gravitational emitter. We did, Dreel said, still laughing. Good. Then you understand I am not here because my government sent me. I volunteered. And you should also understand that Tariq is not the only one who has been busy. She said it without drama, without threat, like someone describing weather change. Simple, factual, inevitable. Our long-range scans confirmed it 4 minutes later. Across the planet, in 17 different locations, humans were quietly constructing an interconnected communication relay network. Not weapons. Something far more disturbing. A web of signals extending beyond our jamming range, already transmitting encoded data to 3 human deep space outposts we had not even known existed. They had been building in silence. For years. Not because they expected invasion. Because, as Fiona later explained, we always assumed someone would eventually try something. So we prepared. Not loudly. Just consistently. That single word struck me harder than any weapon. Consistently. Not brilliantly. Not heroically. Consistently. Day after day, year after year, quietly building, quietly planning, quietly refusing to be caught unprepared. Not because any single human commanded it, but because enough of them scattered across Earth had decided to do it. Individually, quietly, without seeking recognition, Commander Dreel ordered the fleet withdrawal that afternoon. No treaty was signed. No declaration was made. He simply gave the order. 200 warships turned around and left. Because continuation made no tactical sense. And everyone in the command chamber understood it. On his way to the docking bay, Dreel stopped beside Fiona as she prepared to board her ship. He studied her for a long moment. Your species, he said slowly, is either the most dangerous civilization in this galaxy or the most remarkable. I have not decided which. Fiona picked up her bag, tucked the book beneath her arm, looked at him with the calm of a species that has survived everything it has ever faced. Why? She asked. Can it not be both? She walked back to the Mirela 7. The docking clamps released. The patched research vessel, powered by 3 mismatched engine systems and held together by stubborn persistence, drifted into open space and turned toward home. I watched it go. Then I opened a new document and began rewriting my threat assessment report. The new title was Threat Assessment, Earth Species, Classification, Handle with Extreme Caution, Priority Level, Existential. My supervisor read it the next morning. He contacted me immediately. Vorrak, he said, this is either the most important report we have received, or you have completely lost your mind. Sir, I replied honestly, with humans, those two possibilities are usually the same. He was silent for a moment. Then he approved the report. Far below, on a small blue planet the galaxy had spent centuries ignoring, a woman named Fiona Adair returned to her desk, filed her expedition report in 3 paragraphs, brewed herself a cup of tea, and returned to work. Because that is what humans do. They always return to work. And somewhere in the quiet blue world called Earth, humanity continued being quietly impossible to predict.